Okay, so good day everyone. We are the eighth reporter for this subject, and our topic is about the intelligence and individual differences. So, I am Jay and Tayag, the first reporter for this topic, and my co-reporters are Charlene, Buniao, and Laing. Okay, so learning outcome. So at the end of the lesson, the student should be able to do the following: formulate own definition of intelligence, explain why do beliefs about intelligence influence learning success, and compare and contrast intelligence theories and definitions. So for the things we have to learn before we can do them, we learn by doing them. A quote from Aristotle. So this is indeed true. Before we master the things that we are good at doing, we have to learn. We ought to learn them first. We learn them and we master them. So intelligence and individual differences. So what does intelligence mean? So according to Oxford Language, the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. So intelligence is the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills, and the ability to understand and learn well. So this is what intelligence means. So moving on, what does individual difference means? According to igiglobal.com, individual difference refers to the extent and type of distinction among individuals. So individual difference means that it is the distinction among individuals, among one person to another. Okay, so next, meaning of individual differences. So individual differences could be inherited and acquired. So in inheritance, it could be physical, mental, or temperamental. While in acquired, it could be cultural, social, emotional, and educational. So moving on, there are many types of individual differences, such as physical differences, gender differences, age differences, socioeconomic differences, intellectual and academic differences, intelligence, school achievements, special aptitudes and talents, personalities, interests and values, differences in background, mental age, motor ability, and difference in respect of development. So as individuals, we are called individuals for a reason. We are called individuals because we have differences from one person to another. So therefore, do not compare yourself to another person. So next, what does intelligence mean? So according to Jean Piaget, adaptive thinking or action. According to Jean Piaget, intelligence means adaptive thinking or action. It centers in one way on the ability to think abstractly or to solve problems effectively. Okay, so that's it. And according to psychometric theorists, intelligence is a trait or a set of traits that characterize some people to a greater extent than others. So, according to the psychometric theorist, intelligence is the one that stands out among others. A talent, maybe it is a talent of a person that stands out among others. So, and according to Alfred Binet of 1960, intelligence means the capacity to judge well, reason well, and to comprehend well. And so Alfred Binet states that it is being good at judging, it is being good at reasoning, and it is being good at understanding. That's what intelligence means to Alfred Binet in 1960. So that's all for me. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Good day. I will be discussing the Triarchic Theory of Intelligence by Robert Sternberg. So, who is Robert Sternberg? He is an American psychologist and psychometrician, the professor of human development at Cornell University, and transformed the study of intelligence with his triarchic theory of successful intelligence, and has received the 2017 William James Fellow Award from the Association for Psychology Science. So this theory attempts that to understand the human intelligence in terms of distinct components rather than a single ability. So this theory posits that intelligence comprises three interconnected components. And these are the componential subtheory. Under this is the meta components, performance, knowledge acquisition. Second is the experiential subtheory. Under this is the novelty and automation. Third is the contextual subtheory, the adaptation, selection, and shaping. So, what is this componential subtheory? So, it is also known as analytical. It involves the ability to analyze, evaluate, judge, compare, and contrast. It's typically measured by a traditional IQ test and involves problem solving skills, logical reasoning, and the ability to break down complex problems into manageable parts. So, meta components, it is the higher level processes that guide planning, monitoring, and decision making and problem solving. The performance component is the mental actions taken to solve problems based on the instructions from meta components. Number three, the knowledge acquisition component. Processes that help learn and integrate new information, such as identifying and combining relevant details. Second one is the experiential subtheory. It is also known as the creative. It focuses on a person's ability to deal with new situations using past experiences and current skills. It includes innovative thinking, imagination, and the capacity to come up with original solutions to problems. Under this experiential subtheory is the novelty and automation. So, what is this novelty? It is the ability to handle unfamiliar situations and generate original solutions through active thinking. Second is the automation. It is the ability to make solutions. It is the ability to make routines tasks automatic through experience, freeing up mental resources for creative tasks. And the third one is the contextual subtheory, or also known as the practical. It is referred to as street smarts. This involves the ability to adapt to the environment and solve real-world problems and apply the knowledge in everyday contexts. It emphasizes practical problem solving, knowing how to get things done in different situations. So, under this contextual or practical component is the adaptation, the shaping, and the selection. So, what is this adaptation? Adaptation is the adjusting behavior and thinking to fit and respond to the environment effectively. Second is the shaping. It is altering environment to better suit personal goals or needs. Third is selection. It is choosing a new environment when adaptation or shaping isn't possible, better aligned with any goals. That would be all. Thank you.
Next, we have the gender schema theory by Sandra Bem. Sandra Bem was an American psychologist known for her pioneering work on gender and gender roles. She developed the gender schema theory, the Bem sex roles inventory tools used to measure how individuals identify with masculine and feminine roles. Sandra Bem's gender schema theory suggests that individuals develop mental frameworks or schemas to organize and interpret gender-related information. The theory highlights how societal gender norms are internalized and how they affect individual behavior and identity. Sandra Bam's gender schema theory suggests that from a young age, children observed and internalized the societal expectations and behaviors related to gender. These observations form mental frameworks or schemas which help children categorize and understand what is considered appropriate for their gender. Example: household chores and gender roles. In a traditional culture where women are expected to perform household chores and care for children, and men are expected to work outside the home, children will observe these roles being enacted around them. A girl might observe her mother cooking, cleaning, and taking care of her younger siblings. Based on this observation, she develops a gender schema that associates being a girl with doing household chores. A boy, on the other hand, may see his father working outside the home and assume that being a boy means working for money and providing for the family. Both children internalize these gender rules and develop specific expectations of themselves based on their gender. For instance, the girl might feel pressure to focus on nurturing and domestic responsibilities, believing that such behaviors are part of being a woman. The boy may believe that pursuing a career outside the home and achieving financial independence is the correct path for him as a man. Another example, we have toys and activities. Gender schemas also shape what children think they should play with, based on traditional gender norms. The girl might gravitate dolls, kitchen sets, or caring toys, influenced by the gender schema that being a girl involves nurturing and caregiving. The boy, influenced by the schema that men should be active and independent, might choose tracks, action figures, or sports equipment, reflecting that notion that being a boy involves physical activity and adventure. These toys and activities reinforce the children's schemas about gender and help shape their perceptions of what they can or cannot do based on their gender identity. Now, in conclusion, through this process of schema development, children not only learn societal gender norms but also internalize them. They adapt their behavior to fit these norms, reinforcing the cycle of gendered expectations in their culture. The traditional roles observed at home or in society are powerful in shaping these schemas, guiding how children perceive their own identities and what roles they think are appropriate for them. Next type of intelligence, we have the Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence. So Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence is composed of 9 different kinds of intelligence, namely visual spatial, musical, linguistic verbal, intrapersonal, interpersonal, naturalistic, bodily kinesthetic, and logical mathematical. Now we will tackle each one of them one by one. And let us begin with the spatial intelligence. Now, spatial intelligence is the ability to process visual information and understand spatial relationships. It is the ability to perceive and understand visual information both in real world and abstractly. It also includes the ability to visualize objects, rotate them, and manipulate them. So this kind of intelligence refers to painters and the art enthusiasts, wherein they can easily analyze the art and they can easily make it. So this is also a kind of intelligence, but it usually focuses on the visual spatial. Next, we have another type of intelligence, which is the musical. The musical intelligence, also known as musical rhythmic intelligence, is the ability to understand and create music, including the ability to perceive and distinguish aspect sounds of musical form. Okay, so this type of intelligence, it refers to the musicians, wherein they are able to create music, they are able to distinguish what kind of genre they are making, and they can easily make music in their minds and then publish it. So this kind of intelligence is for the musicians, but this is also another type of intelligence. So if you have this, you are intelligent, but in musical field. Next, we have another type of intelligence. This is very common yet very difficult. The logical mathematical intelligence. The logical mathematical intelligence is the ability to think logically, reason, identify patterns. People with strong logical mathematical intelligence are often good at scientific experimentations, identifying relationships between concepts, analyzing problem logically, performing mathematical equations, and thinking about issues scientifically. People with logical mathematical intelligence may be predisposed to careers like entrepreneur, computer programming, scientist, mathematician, detective, and business executive. So this type of intelligence are basically for intelligent people, since they are good in math, they are good in analyzing problems, and they are good in interpreting information, which makes them special. So if you have this kind of intelligence, you are lucky, because you can solve math problems easily, you can identify and you can formulate data based on what you observe, for example, in any scientific problem, so you are able to analyze that and then you can answer it quickly. So if you have that kind of this type of intelligence is very essential for academic, since academic mainly focuses on math and science. So if you have this kind of intelligence, then you are such a lucky person. Next, we have another type of intelligence, which is the linguistic intelligence. So, linguistic intelligence is the ability to think in words and to use language to express and appreciate complex meanings. So, linguistic intelligence is also another type of intelligence for linguist people. So, this type of people, or this kind of people, are good in communication. They are good in expressing their ideas. They are good in expressing their thoughts, and they can formulate sentence very quickly. They can formulate sentence in a discourse way, wherein it is very understandable, and they can use deep English words. So I know a lot of people having this kind of intelligence, and they are really good in communication. They are really good in speaking in public, and they also have confidence, since they know that they are able to do it. So linguistic intelligence is also a special kind of intelligence, wherein people having this type of intelligence are very lucky, since they can confidently express their ideas in public. They can express their words easily, and that's what makes them special. Now, another type of intelligence is the existential. So existential, when you hear the word existential, the first thing that comes into your mind is the meaning of life. So why do we exist? So that is the concern of existentialist people. Now, what is existential intelligence? Existential intelligence is the ability to consider and answer profound questions about human existence, such as the meaning of life, why we die, and where we come from. So this type of people are very curious about the existence of people. So they tend to ask questions: why do we exist? Why are we here? What is our purpose of living? So this type of people, they are more likely a psychologist, maybe. So I think they are like Aristotle and Confucius, since they question a lot about the meaning of life. So that is the concern of existentialist people. And this is also another type of intelligence. So people having this type of intelligence question a lot about your existence. So I think this type of intelligence is commonly found, or is basically common in people studying psychology. So if you are planning to become a psychologist, you should have this type of intelligence, which is the existential intelligence, because psychology talks about human behavior. and existential talks about the meaning of life. So I think they are just connected. So another type of intelligence is what we call the bodily kinesthetic intelligence. It is the ability to use the body to learn, solve problems, and express ideas and emotions. It also known as physical intelligence or learning with the hands. So, the basic example for this bodily kinesthetic intelligence are the dancers, martial arts enthusiasts. So, in this type of intelligence, they are also special since they learn a lot when they move. For examples, for the dancers, whenever they are practicing steps, they can easily get it, so they can perform it easily. Well, if you are not a dancer, then you tend to have difficulties in learning it. But if you have this kind of intelligence, it is just very easy for you, as if eating a piece of cake. So that is also another type of intelligence, and people having this are also very special, just like having the logical mathematical intelligence, the linguistic intelligence. Now, if you have all of these types of intelligence, then you are the most lucky person alive on earth. So that's all for me. Another types of intelligence will be discussed by the next reporter. So, bye!
Okay, so next we have the interpersonal intelligence. It is the ability to understand and relate to other people. It involves a range of skills including communication, sensitivity, conflict management, collaboration, respect. So basically, interpersonal intelligence is the ability to sympathize others, to empathize others, to understand what they're talking about, or to relate onto what they're tackling about. Next, we have the intrapersonal intelligence. It is the ability to understand and use knowledge of one's own thoughts, feelings, and motivations to guide life. People with high interpersonal intelligence are often self-aware, have strong control over their feelings, and are able to set meaningful goals. So, intrapersonal intelligence is the ability to understand your own thoughts, your own feelings, emotions, to identify and to determine what you are feeling and how to react on what you are currently feeling. So next is the naturalist intelligence. It is the ability to understand and interact with the natural world. It involves being able to identify, categorize, and manipulate elements of the environment. Recognize differences between species, groups of people, or objects. Understand how species relate to each other, and be sensitive to subtle change in the environment. Find patterns and relationships with nature. So it is basically the ability to engage to nature, to understand what and how nature works, and how the animals and the other species of living organisms work. So that's all for this report. Thank you so much for listening.